Today we take a look at Maschinen Krieger, a setting that includes a lot of cool mechas and vehicles with a retro sci-fi look that, in my head, really blends the futuristic technology with the idea of worn-out and practical war machines. Yes, I know that the lore is completely different, but for my displays they are an alternate World War II timeline. I will leave a link in the description if you are curious to dive deeper. I will try to build some power armors model kits in the future, but in the meanwhile I found these Lunagans at a nice price. It is a big box for a plastic reconnaissance duck that requires some minimal additional assembly from my part. The ideal for lazy people like me. Let's have a look. This model by itself it is not recent at all, but it surfaced on my radar just a few months ago. I think that its style is close to what Studio Ghibli would create if it was creating a similar setting. This box has a lot of cool pictures, but let's extract the content. And we get another brown box, but voila! It was the wrong side. Here it is, our metal duck made of plastic. Let's remove the plastic cover by cutting away the tape holders, and we have this thing, which I discovered to be the Earnestcore Craft logo. Let's gently extract the Lunagans from the protective foam, quite tight, and I don't want to break it before having to take a look at it. It is quite light, I must say. Let's put it here and take a look at this additional bag that contains a postcard. Straight to my card collection, I will never mail it. And then we have this yellow leaflet with a guidance about how to plug batteries, wire the little cables, and it seems not too much complicated, but the pictures are quite clear too. It is another level compared to the obscure instructions that I had to follow for the Joy Toy Fear mechas. And here the cables and the antenna pieces, to be kept safe until we assemble everything together. With everything unpacked, we have the main body and a lot of tiny wires and a few other pieces. Nothing else to paint. The Earnestcore Craft logo looks so cool and well made that I will find a use for it in some other future diorama. I can't read any Japanese, but the writing will look nice in quite a few contexts. The first thing to notice is the smoothness of the painting and the amount of tiny details and the lack of apparent seam lines in the model. Really higher quality in the construction when compared to what I've seen for similar Joy Toy models, where the seam lines are so prominent. It is quite light, body and head are clearly empty, but still the construction feels more robust. These chicken legs have a limited articulation. Those springs will move if you extend or compress the legs themselves. I won't stress them too much because they look quite thin and delicate. We can see the many small details, with small stains, shading, and many inked recesses. It is a great attention to details, and these decals with small writings, the logos, and the small icons, whoa, they look so nice. And again, no evident seam lines. This is really great overall design and assembly quality. The head can oscillate a bit and fully rotate, but I guess that once we assemble the entire antenna set, there could be some limitations. Painting is smooth, I can't see any imperfection, it appears even too perfect. Moving to the engine port, there are those silver flexible cables and these the exhaust cones and the engine details with more small bits. Impressive. Talking about the assembly, we still have to wire all the cables around the body, starting from the head that can be detached, and then moving to the legs, where we have to just bend the cables and make them pass through the holes in the armor. It does not take long, I only have to follow the instruction and there is no need for any glue. But to keep the video short, let's skip to the completed model directly. The tiny wires add some additional beauty to the overall result, from the legs to the head-mounted antennas and other sensor devices. As I said, the assembly was quite painless, and these additional bits contribute a lot to give an idea that this is a recon mecha. I can imagine it running and jumping around on the lunar surface, racing or hiding its main body to improve the sensor coverage and better scout for any incoming dangers and targets. I can't spot any weapons, so I think that this is completely unarmed mecha, a working sensor array that it relies on other mechas for protection, and probably on its stealthiness and speed to run away if spotted. I hope to get access to some of the power armors in the future, they will look amazing altogether. But in the meanwhile, I am still amazed by the amount of details and quality of the construction. But I can't stop thinking about how amazing these details are and how good is the manufacturing quality. If I think of my Cadian Sentinel, I can see seam lines all around, while here instead I can hardly spot any. I would have liked some additional dirtiness on the rocket exhausts behind, they look quite clean in my opinion. But being in space, I can imagine that they don't get dirty like they will do on Earth. Anybody knows? Okay, it is sci-fi, so everything could be happening here. Bring in some other features, I think that a German soldier and other 118 figures can give an idea of how they stack together. To be honest, it looks a bit small for thinking that there is a pilot there, but maybe he or she could be a smaller person like the MK-01 Power Armours pilot. But overall, I think that they can be put together on the same display and be believable. The MK-01 seems to be especially similar in the design, but they have completely different camouflage, one operating on Earth and the other in space. But let's not put limits on our creativity. It looks cool and it blends more or less well with other action figures. And since I was looking for some escort unit for protecting it, let's bring in an exoskeleton from Battle for the Stars and Ragnar Blackmane. Okay, Ragnar Blackmane for no special reason, but to compare to other 40k action figures. But the exosuit is a good fitting given that this is a recon vehicle that will need some kind of a protection, and the heavily armed exosuits seem to be filling the bill. Again, different in color, but who cares, they look cool nearby. The Lunagans has been a pleasant surprise. There is high quality in the manufacturing and the finishing of details here. There are quite a few other models out there, but this was the cheapest that I want to try. It is quite new area for me. It is even cheaper than the Cadian Sentinel, but of a better manufacturing quality. Of course, the style may not be everybody's cup of tea, but overall I feel to suggest to grab one if you find it priced around the same price as a Joy Toy mecha. Having said that, I wish you a nice rest of the day and have fun with your Maschinen Kriegers.